Okay, the fucking wastegate's screwed.
Yeah, that's that pop I heard. That little pop.
Yeah.
Same noise.
So we went for the first drive and it was working, it was making boost. And then it sounded like we had an exhaust leak, and turns out the valve from the wastegate has seized. It only moved a couple of mil. I eventually took it out and spent hours dismantling the fucking thing, and so this valve stem is meant to slide within this other bit on it. So just this shaft is meant to slide within this bit, and it is like seized in there. I was hitting it with a hammer either way just to try to loosen it up, but I don't know what's happened. I don't know if heat has made it made the actual like valve stem swell, or perhaps the outer collet thing or whatever it is, perhaps that shrunk a little. So I think I'm gonna have to get a new one, but in the meantime I'm gonna try to get this off and possibly, I don't know, just clean them both up and see if I can get them to slide a little more freely, and just see if I can reuse this wastegate. I've kind of fucked it up a bit while pulling it apart. I've damaged everything slightly, but may as well have a shot. It's either that or just throw it in the bin and get a new one, so I may as well just do what I can with this one and see if I can make it work. But that's what you get with cheap Chinese crap. That's what came with the kit. I found these things for sale for $80 on eBay, so I'll probably get a better one if I replace it, but in the meantime I may as well see if I can make this work. Right, halfway put back together. Figure it's only going to go in the bin if it doesn't work anyway, so I've drilled this out. Possibly too loose now. We'll give it a shot. There. Look at leaking. Must have loosened that shaft too much, and we're getting blow by through there. Oh no, it'd have to come through the diaphragm. Would it? Oh fuck, I don't know. We all do dumb shit when we're teenagers. So I painted these white, as well as this whole thing was white. And yeah, who thought that was a good idea? Just gonna put the one from the EB in so it looks a bit nicer. Although I did buy like a little like push button fucking thing that goes on there, but it had like flames on it and it looked really cheesy, but I might try to sand it, maybe repaint it or something. I'll play with that anyway. But the cool thing is, see that loom just goes into nothing. It sits there. That's actually the release for the fuel flap, which came on Fairmonts and shit. So I got the one out of the EB. And if you can't do it with one hand, but you plug that in and the wiring's already there. And it works. We've already tested it. And the wiring at the rear end is just under the carpet. So if you can get the release mechanism from a Fairmont and get this bit with the button, it'll work. Cool. Much better. I just put in a JVC DVD player with a reverse camera. So that's pretty cool. Straight in the keyhole. Round. Flat. This cheap crap does not like heat. That was for the boost gauge, so it started just reading 3 inches of vacuum, and it just stayed there and it wouldn't move because that melted. So I ended up using more of that fuel line, which was a little big, so I had to cable tie it down pretty tight, but it seems to work now. I put the heat shield on too, so it looks, it's kind of hard to see. Looks a bit nicer. And there's the new vacuum line for the boost vacuum gauge. It's just teed in there with cables on because the hose diameter is a little big. And I also bought this when I was a teenager. It's the only one I could find. I wanted a different shifter for a T-bar. It does have a chrome button that goes in there. I've just pulled it apart. It's got flames on it, which looks really gay. So as you can probably see, I've started sanding it. I just want to see if I can sand it, get all the paint off it, because I think it's aluminium. And polish it up and see if it looks right. It's pretty crap. It just I think from memory I did try it and it sits quite high and looks a bit silly, but it's just got 3 grub screws to grip onto the shaft, and then yeah, just pushes the pin much like a normal one, but from the top instead of the side. Yeah, it's only sitting there doing nothing, so I'm gonna have a go. So see if I can make it look a little less cheesy. I gave that a quick sand blast and then sanded by hand, and then a little bit of metal polish. So that just goes on with the 3 little grub screws in there. Obviously that goes on first and then screws up to cover them. I'll give it a shot. Might end up ripping it off and then I'll just go back to normal T-bar, but yeah, I've got it, I may as well see if it's going to work. Yeah. I'll leave it for a bit. It's not bad. I believe I got all the air out of the water system because the pump was a lot louder when it was pumping air. Just need to wire in this. Got this little fused relay. It's just a 4-pin. So I believe you just got like power in straight from the battery, then straight to the positive of the pump, and I'll get it negative just to power the relay, and then a switch 12 volt just to operate the relay. A little 30 amp fuse. This was only like, I forget how much it was on EP. It was pretty cheap. But I don't have a switch. I want to get a proper little switch that's got illumination and it says water pump on it. I've seen you can buy them, but I could only see them in China, so they weren't going to show up for like a month. So water pump is plumbed but not wired. Just running off a 3-cell LiPo at the moment. This is the new the like fuel line stuff. Same stuff I use for the wastegate line there. I used for the boost gauge because the thin stuff just like melted and folded over. And of course I have to replace this one day with some proper aluminium or stainless piping. Saw a trick where somebody puts these in the oven just so you can break the adhesive, take the cover off, then break out the orange, then put it back on and just use an amber globe. Looks quite good. So I just put it in the oven to do that, and I left the other one a little bit too long and cooked it. So I guess I won't be doing that. But these are from the parts car anyway, so not too worried about it. Would look pretty cool though. Another addition from the Fairmont. Bit of carpet for there. seal the hole. Oh. Eh. This cable's like this roughly to here too. That's just for the reverse camera. This goes in there, through there. That's behind here. Just tapped into the reverse lights in there. Took the little cover off the actual light ballast and just joined the wires on without cutting anything inside the cover. So that's pretty cool. Looks good. Still not low, but it's a lot more leveled out. Gotta figure out where I'm gonna put this. The EB had some kind of mount on the like the shock mount here. Had some kind of little bracket I was gonna try to use, but I've lost it. I think we took it off the car. Don't know where it ended up. There's not really room over here for it. There you go. Maybe not. So I thought, try to fit it in there somewhere. Only got 1 pound there. I think the wastegate's still leaking. It still needs to be replaced. But it goes. And the exhaust is straight out of this fucking wastegate, so it's loud. So if we can get more than 1 pound of boost, have a look at the gauge.